Hello YouTube, Kevin to here. Yeah. So this is gonna be a beginner's guide video for persons planning to play some Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. If you're watching this video and you wanna play some Master Duel, start right now. Log into an account, start right now. So just to let y'all know, I've been playing Master Duel since the launch of Master Duel. Been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For a long time, but you could say mostly since 2011. But this is just going to be strictly about Master Duel. For newbies trying to get into the game, trying to learn the game. I think this is a little bit overwhelming. I'm here for you. Alright, you might think that you might not be skilled at the game. I'm here for you. Alright, everybody can be good at Master Duel. Um, this is totally unedited, unscripted. So hopefully I can cover as much, but as concise as possible. Alright. So first things first, getting into Master Duel. You know what I mean? You want to play Master Duel. My first tip for newbies: um, go into the solos. Don't stress on anything. First tip for newbies: you go into the solos. Now, your objective as a newbie is to complete all of the solos that is in Master Duel. Once you're finished with all of the solos, you'll have some knowledge or some grasp of how to play this game, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Now, I would say for newbies, I want you to play firstly up until Ruin and Demise, just to get your hands, your feet wet into the game, right? Once you complete it up to around Ruin and Demise, you can then by that time you probably would have accumulated around 5 to 6,000 gems. It seems like a lot of gems, right? Best believe these gems go real fast. Now, upon starting Master Duel, depending on the type of deck that you want to build, you can possibly build two decks. But in reality, if you want to compete with the top dogs, you probably can carefully craft one deck. Now, um, you'll need to go into your missions, and as you can see what just happened right there, as I entered into the mission, it showed me new missions. Now everybody have different time zones, alright, different time zones. For me here in Jamaica, Eastern Pacific time, the game resets at around 1 p.m. Eastern Pacific time. So at 1 p.m. Eastern Pacific time, I will need to enter into the missions section in order for me to actually see or receive those new missions. Because if you do not go into your mission tab, it wouldn't reflect new missions. That's a little downside to the game. First and foremost tip, right? You don't just log into the game and just get to do new. You have to click on the missions, like click in missions, for you to receive new missions. Alright, so yeah, that's the first tip. So yeah, so once you've completed up to that point in solos, you're probably eager to play a deck, right? You're gonna go to the shop. Um, my advice for you, well, before we go into that, let's talk about these packs here, selection packs, and sometimes some of these rare packs. Now, these selection packs, damn, it's 4 days remaining. Oh gosh, these selection packs, as you can see, have an expiration date to it. Now, um, normally, whenever packs expire, it's been replaced by another pack. So we're actually expecting another pack in 4 days at the time of recording. In 4 days, there's going to be a new pack. I decided to make this video because in 4 days, it's going to be a lot of chaos. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of full power decks flying around. So it might be overwhelming for a new player to probably get into the game, or maybe decide to choose which deck they decide to play. There's a lot of decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! As seen here, right into the future. To the left, you see some Stardust in the middle, Diabell Star on the right, and Infernobles. Now, Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel is really is a funny environment. It's a funny community. There are a lot of good decks in the game. However, people tend to stick to the latest in trends or the latest in popularity decks. So right now what's popular is Diabell Star and Snake Eyes. But that doesn't mean that Infernoble is a bad deck. Right? The same can go for the Return of the King. Return of the King. Where you have Red Eyes. How am I talking about Red Eyes? Red Dragon Archfiend as an archetype. It is a good archetype. Oh, there's also that selection pack here. Now, you as a new player, you might not realize the difference when it comes to new cards that are being introduced to the game, and or cards or selection packs like these that are just literally like a way to kind of get new players to spend more in order to get more, or attempt to compete with the current state of the game. As you can see with the selection pack, it has a variety of high tier cards or high class cards. Right? Every card in Yu-Gi has its purpose. You can't really downplay a deck for what it is. Every deck is unique. But let's not dive into all of this right now. Oh, before actually, how can you tell if a card is new? When you select this, you can select newly added cards. This is, maybe this was a new. Oh, this is probably the new alternate art. So when you select newly added card, you'll be able to see that. Hey, this is the only card that was new. It's an alternate art of the Ghost Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. All right. So as you can see, it was only one card that is new. That therefore means that this was this is the pack that is showing old cards. They're good cards, but they're old cards. And packs like this now, when you go into it and you select newly added cards, you see that the majority of these cards here are pretty new, which is good. I like that. This is good because one time they usually used to give us maybe like 2 or 3 ultra that we already have in these selection packs, but we're moving into a new direction. Alright, this might be a long video. Try to keep this as close as possible. Now, as a new player, alright, once you reach that point in the solos, you may want to decide on choosing a structure deck. You don't have to, but choosing a structure deck is a good way to get you more up to speed in terms of what do you call it now, like somewhat of a modern game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Some persons might be playing this game for the first time, some persons might be OGs. I must warn you that with these structure decks, once you purchase the deck, cards found within these structure decks cannot be dismantled. Yes, this is the crafting system. However, not all cards can be dismantled, which is unfortunate. What I would, well, it's kind of hard for me to kind of tell anyone who's new what to play, but I'll provided with options. So a structure that like the Hidden Art of Shadows, it's a it's a deck you can pick up. Um, Next one will be the Vortex of Magic, which include the Dark Magician. That is a decent deck you can pick up as well. Dragon Maid. Dragon Maid takes some form of patience to get used to and learn. You know, you might have a hard time in the current state of the game, but as a newbie, you know, choosing one of these decks will get you along the path when you're ranking up. If you decide ranking is your way to go. Um, Burning Spirits, it's a decent one. You can pick that up as well as Blackwing's Pride, and maybe Blue Eyes. But Blue Eyes Max, that one is a little bit kind of. You'll need more investment to kind of flesh out that deck, and it's on the expensive side. So you try not to go too far where that is concerned. Yeah, so you can choose one of those decks. The other decks, you might be taking a chance on using those decks. Alright. Now, once you've selected that deck, you can also go over to the special section here. Now, this is a tricky one. Now, I'm not really hating on the game, but I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. You're gonna see things like second anniversary bundle. I mean, to each their own. If you're playing on a budget, I would not recommend um getting these bundles. But if you got it like that, then you can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? But I'm just trying, because a lot of person, when it comes to this game, it's a lot of resource management. So you're trying to play a free to play. Avoid these as much as possible. Alright. Reason why I say this is because if you get caught up with this, so when these special packs are released, within a couple of days after, there's a new selection pack that comes along. And you're gonna be like, oh boy, I just spent 3,000 gems. Now I gotta spend another 8,000 gems to pull from this pack to get what I want. Think about that. Think about that. Yeah, so I would definitely avoid. Wait, what? Yeah, I would definitely avoid these anniversary packs. But like I said, to each their own, right? Um, so when it comes to these bundles, like I'm totally avoiding these, as you can see. As you can see, you have others here. One with Effect Veiler, Triple Tactics Talent, Nibiru, Forbidden Droplet, Imperm, Solemn Judgment, Lightning Storm, and Ash Blossom. Now, based on your playing style, not Jad, I think if I was to have a recommendation for newbies, Triple Tactics is one, Imperm is one, Nibiru is one, and Ash Blossom is one. And you can probably take up the Lightning Storm one as well. Those are the ones that you should go after. Forbidden Droplet and Solemn Judgment is not quite seen as much. Effect Veiler is just based on your playing style. If you feel like your deck can run that as well. Alright. So yeah. So you've done a couple of the solos. You've chosen your deck that you decide to play with. It's like a starter deck, you could say. Alright. So once you've gotten your deck, as I mentioned before, I'll need for you to yeah, I'll need for you. I'll recommend that you should complete every single one of these solos. These solos would get you up to speed in certain aspects of Yu-Gi-Oh! If you have not played Yu-Gi-Oh! Before, teach you some mechanics, but not only that, you'll realize you're playing against or with a whole lot of different decks. There's a whole lot of different decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! And one of the things that I like about Yu-Gi-Oh! It doesn't have a rotation system. Now, some persons may argue and be like, oh, I can't take Master Duel because when I select a meta deck, it eventually gets hit and you feel some type of way. That may be true, but it's not the end of the world. Alright. Master Duel I would say is fair because they Master Duel try to push every time they're trying to push diversity in the game, although it might be not in the pace as how I would want it to be. Um, they're doing a good job. Fair enough. Sometimes they might do a weak hit here and there. Sometimes there might be a hard hit. It all depends. At the end of the day, it's a business, and you gotta think about the game on a whole, not just for yourself. Okay, why they hit my deck? Why they could have hit that? Why is Maxi still a thing? Why isn't Maxi banned? Now, a lot of persons always complain about Maxi. Um, as I mentioned at the start of the video, I've been playing this game since 2011. I remember the days or the purpose when Maxi was needed in the synchro era. Everybody loved synchros, planned synchros, and Maxi kept those synchro decks somewhat in check. They couldn't pop off and bring on three Quasars first turn like they used to, because there were cards that would counter them. Right? They could just OTK you in one go, because Tragodian Gores was all over the place. Alright. So I understood the use of Maxi, and when Maxi got hit in the TCG, it was hit for a long. It's still hit now. Yeah, it was hit, and trust me, when for a very long time, and when I saw Maxi in Master Duel, that was it. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's not get into that topic. Yeah, so I recommend that you complete all these decks as a newbie. And like I said, you'll get accustomed to a whole lot of different decks and playing style. You might wonder to yourself, why? Why does it matter? Because at some point in Yu-Gi-Oh, not saying all, but majority of these decks were once meta were once popular decks played by many. I remember Gladiator Beasts, Gem Knights, uh, what you call them, Quill Forts. They were once meta, right? And they're unique decks. It will actually, what do I call it now? Give you a new look on different decks that are out there. And at the end of the day, once you've completed all of these challenges, you'll get to learn what you enjoy to play. At the end of the day, no one can enjoy the game of Yu-Gi-Oh but yourself. We can recommend the best decks, but sometimes playing the best decks might not be satisfying for you. And if a game is not satisfying for you, you're just simply not gonna play. It is what it is. So, in order to retain persons to stay in the game and be in the game, um, that's just my thing. Now, I believe I've been hearing that there's a cap limit when it comes to the gems. So when you're saving, you're starting out, you're saving. Please save. Um, if you reach around 9,000, 10,000 gems, you could go to the shop and probably choose from the last or the latest selection packs. Maybe just throw 1,000 in the pack. Alright. But just keep it, ensure that you have around 9 to 10,000 gems. So here you're probably wondering what would be your first deck you would like to build. I really can't choose that for you, but the reason why I'm making this video now, like I said, in 4 days time there's going to be, I should expect a big shift in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I've always been saying this, that the future of Master Duel is looking bright or looking good, because there's lots more to come. Lots more to come. And that's why I enjoy this game so much, because there's constant updates, and in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! There's always new cards coming through. And the pace and changes of the game, it happens so frequently. Alright, as you quint, boom, a month fly off. Alright, so when the new selection pack comes, you're gonna see different things. You might be interested to find out what would be the best deck to play. It's really a hard question, because this is a game of singles, and it could go either way. It could go either way. But as a newbie, I'll just keep it straightforward and simple for you. As a newbie, I just compile a list. It's not the greatest of lists, but I just compile a list of cards here for newbies to maybe consider either crafting, or no, just let them be aware of when it comes to this game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright. Like I said, I added the effect veilers here. Now, the more you play and the more you rank up, you'll be able to, I'm gonna back up for a bit. The more you play and the more you rank up, you'll be able to view any person's deck that you played against. So you can either copy the deck, or maybe review and analyze and see why that deck is winning, why you're losing. Is it that you're making mistakes, and what makes the deck tick? By analyzing the gameplay, you can therefore make adjustments to improve in your playing style. Yu-Gi-Oh! This would be like a 2-hour video if I was to go in depth when it comes to the knowledge or intricacies of this game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Wait, this list looked like, let me not call any names. I see this list. I literally saw this list by someone a while ago on YouTube. But okay, call it Unchained Labyrinths, with only one Unchained and one. Anyway, yeah, I'm a back out. All right, okay. Oh, I forgot to add Joel and Lopbird to the thing. All right, so playing this game, you might end up being frustrated with certain things that are happening during the game. Things like Call by the Grave, seen ever so often at the 2-off. Run one crossout designator. Oh, the game involves a lot of reading. So if you never like to read, you're gonna learn today how to read. You got to read to understand. A tip though. It's a lot of stuff. This game has a timer system when playing. It might be overwhelming for a new player to be like, okay, I'm trying to learn the game. In order for me to learn the game, I gotta read my cards, understand what my cards and what my strategy is trying to do, and at the same time reading the opponent card that they probably don't know or never seen before, trying to understand what their strategies do. Um, I would just say don't stress yourself. You know, you will, just like anything that comes new, you will learn the game over time. I would say it might take you roughly around 2 to 3 weeks to get the hang of things. Right, playing maybe 1 to 2 hours a day. Yeah, yeah, it will take around 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, if you play the game that often, 1 to 2 hours a day. Um, Another tip: not because you see a deck list and the deck list is beating you, and you feel like you want to play the deck, not necessarily mean that you have to go hard and play everything that's in the deck. Meaning, oh, I need to craft Lureless, and well, Zeus is a good card, but you can. There's some decks that can play without certain URs, right? Even like a relinquished animal. Yes, it's a good card, but as a newbie, you might not realize if it's really good to play it or not. Now that comes with having knowledge of the game, right? Yeah. And for me personally, when it comes to relinquished animal, I guess you could say I play this game so much that no matter who I'm playing against, even if they have relinquished anima or not, I'm always playing around it for the most part, right? But anyway, let's see if I continue. Let's not get into all of this deep dive stuff because I'm trying to make this as short as simple as possible for persons that are playing this game that's new. All right. Oh boy, this is totally unedited, unscripted. Let's get into it. All right. So if it was up to me, personally, I would have crafted every card right here as 3 of 2. Personally, if it was up to me, no joke. But I can't because my resources are limited, and I'm talking about the different accounts that I have. The resources are really limited, so you'll have to choose wisely on what you're doing. Now, a card that's been on my a card that I love dear so much to me for a very long time, but the reason why I haven't decided to use it up until now was because this is a game of singles. It's a singles game. Yu-Gi-Oh overall is really a best of 3 game, best 2 out of 3 game. Where once you lose the first game, or once want to finish with the first game, you get to have a 15 card side deck and you can side in, take out, replace card from the main deck with the side decks. How many cards you want to face off your opponent. Now, a lot of new persons or OGs might not know the difference between what's a main deckable card, what's a card that's meant for the main deck, and what's a card that's meant for the side deck. Now, Phantasme, I'm just going straight off the bat, is really a side deck card. However, I've realized that the meta right now is all about Snake Eyes. What do Snake Eye do? Link off. And this is where Phantasme's time to shine, which you probably would have seen that video up. Shoot, I actually should have. Yeah, you see that video where Phantasme came through and wrecked Snake Eyes to oblivion. Alright, yeah, so like I said, a lot of these cards I would personally craft everything, but do not do that. I'm not putting this out here for you to craft everything here. This is expensive. Do not do it. But this is just here as like a template for you to see the options or outs for this game of Yu-Gi-Oh. You feel like you might be overwhelmed with what's going on with the game. Trust me, the game is really simple. It's really simple. There's outs for everything. I forgot to add lava golem, but I'm not really a lava golem fan because for newbies, it's gonna be quite hard for you to have a deck to play around lava golem. It sucks to know that you cannot really. Lava golem is a card that, hey, if you ain't special, well, let's say you can't normal or special, you might wonder what is that card. Type in here lava golem. I'm just make sure I see what I'm talking about. Yeah, you cannot normal summon our set. The turn you special summon this card, so you know you're locked out from that. Not every deck is meant to be played with lava golem. You know, it's a good card, yes, but I mean, to those who see it as a good card. But I personally prefer kaijus. Now, to mention kaijus, I must say that I'm not saying this Lex is the best option. Yeah, it's quite expensive. Can you gonna throw maybe 2 copies of this, then 3 copies of this? Yeah, let's not go into that. But I was gonna say that kaijus on a whole is a package that can rip any deck apart. Just rip them apart. But anyway, oh, I forgot to even add Dark Hole. But Dark Hole not really all that necessary, you know. But I think I should actually raise Dark Hole because um there's going to be a card. I don't think it's going to be that popular, but until that time comes, we'll see. There's going to be a card that actually supports this card Dark Hole here by the name of Dark Hole Dragon. It's a 3000 body that special summons itself whenever a card is destroyed by a card effect, and that card is unaffected by card effects, cannot be destroyed by card effects. So you'll have the Dark Hole Dragon on the field. It also grabs Dark Hole from your deck or graveyard to your hand when it is special summoned. You see the stuff here? But yeah, something to consider, but not the greatest. Now, having cards like Dark Hole and Raigeki seems powerful, yeah, but there's a lot of cards out there that negates spells and traps. Card like Baron de Fleur, that you may see a lot of persons make, as well as the Snake Eye trap card that I spelled that wrong. Oh boy, drifting. I can't spell. What is that Baron? 2 N's. Yeah. So there's a lot of cards that negates spells and traps and effects, just like Baron de Fleur. Alright. Alright, so let's get into it. So you can probably take a snapshot on this or a screenshot on this. I'm talking about snapshot. Take a screenshot of this to kind of get a understanding of what you can run. So as a newbie, you can skip Effect Veiler. It's not a necessity, but if you want to play it, you can play it. I mean, Maxis at 3, you got, well, yeah, yeah, you got to run the Maxi at 3. Right. Now, before I even go deep dive into that, as much as I do not want to promote this, I mentioned this in the stream before. What's the name again? Yeah. As much as I do not want to promote this, for newbies, huh? A flowander. Yeah, Flawanderies. That's that name? I can't even spell it right. Flow. Flow. It's Flawanderies. I believe Flawanderies. I can't believe this is a one-off though. Wow, they actually nerfed this. Yeah. But Flawanderies is an archetype that you can probably get into. Probably. Not gonna say you're gonna win all the games, but it's an archetype that I hate the most. It's my most hated archetype to play against. I mean, maybe I can beat it, yeah, but I really do not like to play against Flowanderies. If you check out the deck lists, uh, different deck lists on YouTube and Yu-Gi-Oh sites, Master Duel sites, you'll see the reason why I hate the deck. But um, I would say it's a fairly cheap deck to craft. Yeah, it's literally cheap, fairly, right? So if you want to get into the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, you want to play some Flowanderies, by all means you can do so. Alright, but I really don't want to promote it, but just let y'all know, I'm just being straight up honest with you. Alright. Alright, Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. I would recommend you craft this, but some persons may run it. If you do manage to pull a random copy of it, I would recommend that you keep it. You can try it out. Like I said, it's based on the meta game that we're in. But I wouldn't say go all in and craft this, right? Like I said, it's just these are the cards that you may want to consider going after in the future. All right, Ash Blossom, the awesome Ash Blossoms. Personally, I think Ash Blossom should be ran at 2, but to each their own. Sometimes I don't run Ash at all, but Ash is definitely something in the game. Now you call these cards hand traps. Um, Yu-Gi-Oh is a funny game. Um, the reason why these hand traps are so effective is because the quote-unquote best decks or tier 0 decks rely on what you will call the one card combos. So these decks can pop off, make big boards just by having one cards, or to start off with one card. And one example of this would be a famous Super Heavy Samurai deck. Pop off. But Super Heavy Samurai is limited to because of the fact you cannot really use spells and traps. I mean, yeah, it had that it had that restriction to it. Or else it would be probably one of the best decks in the game if you could use spells and traps on top of what they can do. Right? I'm just giving an example though. Right? Not saying it's the best deck out there. So I'm just saying the reason why people play these hand traps is because of these one card combos that pop off. And that's why people consider Ash Blossom as something, because it's an interruption. It negates something on top of the fact that they run imperms, Call by the Graves, Effect Veilers. Yeah, you get the drift. So you're probably wondering, should I craft the Ash Blossom? It all depends on the deck that you decide to build. Alright, but if you feel like you should run Ash, I would recommend 2. I wouldn't say go out and make 3, but if you want to make 3, that's your choice. Right? Having these hand traps and interruptions will interrupt, well, will cause you to quote unquote brick. And when you brick, you can't play, and if you can't play, you automatically lose because the opponent got plays and you can't. Right? Yeah, it may slow down the game, it may slow down some strategies of what the opponent trying to do, but you get the point here. That's the reason why certain things are necessary in certain decks. Let's move on from that. Ghost Bell. Like I said, these are cards just be out there. If I had the chance, I would have crafted all of these cards in this list, but URs are preventing me from doing so. So Ghost Bell in Haunted Mansion. It negates effects when you're trying to add a card from the grave to the hand, deck, or extra deck. Special summon monster from the graveyard or banish a card from the graveyard. Like I said, it depends on the meta game and what you see in the meta. So if you pull a card like this by chance, if you randomly pull this, keep it. It's a good card. I would say not to dismantle these cards. Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. This one is just for the memes, to be honest with you. Move on from that. Dino Wrestler Prankatops. A very terrifying card, but not a lot of person play it. It's 2600 attack. It's a level 7. Something to consider. Yeah. Um. Oh yeah. I should say, do not craft this. I'm just saying. Yeah. Um. Just saying. If you pull this card, you can keep it. If you want to pull it, if you want to craft it, yeah, it's up to you. It's all depending on the deck that you're trying to build. Phantasme, like I said, right now, Phantasme has been decent. You can definitely craft this as maybe a 2 off. If you want to go all in 3, sure, no problem. Right. Next up, nobody played this. No one. I wish I could play it, but like I said, a card like this would be like the last option for me to ever craft. Once I get everything else, last card. Right. It's just so funny to me because this stops a lot of stuff and they can't even react to it. Right? That's just so funny to me. 2600 defense, you know. Wandering Griffin Riders. So I just put this in here for the adventure package. I believe the adventure package is now somewhat playable. I've seen some amazing decks currently. I was amazed by a deck yesterday when I was playing. Whew. Yeah, so adventure package is somewhat playable. You might need to look into crafting it if you want. Gamma Seal, I believe it's a one-off. Most cases. At one point, well, actually, scrap that. You're gonna need to have 3 copies of this. Best believe you're gonna need to have 3 copies of this. No questions asked. All right. Why I say because purely is gonna be a thing. People been playing purely, and you need to wreck them. Spear mode. Not a lot of persons play this. Personally, I just want to just use it, and I just want to use it. Just when I see, because there's so many situations I see people just put out three big negates on the board: Appaloosa, Baron de Fleur, and Boral Savage Dragon. I'm like, wow, amazing. If I only had this card, you know what I mean? Yeah. um, Make this maybe one of your last cards to craft. I can't really say right now because in 4 days time, um, I don't know what that new archetype do. Um, I probably just glance it, but I really don't know what their potential is. I see people talk about Despia. I guess Despia might have a little more a rise in decks. So um, I would say when a new selection pack comes, give it 3 to 5 days. Let the meta kind of settle a bit, and then based on the decks you're seeing that you're coming up against, the more you rank up, then you can maybe decide, are you seeing a deck? Are you seeing more decks put out 3 monsters on board most of the times that you can't deal with? You feel like spirit mode is needed. Then at that time you can say, all right, maybe let me craft 2. All right, I'll say craft 2. Don't go all in on craft 3, because if more people start, if this the game that you get like this, the more a certain archetype get wrecked by spear mode, the more people are gonna try and play around it. So that's something to consider. All right, that's all I can say. Nibiru, he got the he got the um. I believe this is a definite 2 off, but it can go all in on craft 3. Nibiru, a lot of persons have a little love-hate relationship with Nibiru. People believe that, oh yeah, I can play through Nibiru, amazing, you just nib me. takes some experience, some skill to use this card. I guess some skill. You gotta first know how the opponent plays in order to play around Nibiru, right? I think it's a 2 off at best. But if you feel you got it like that, you can craft. It depends on your deck. I think 2 off is decent. Some may run 1. It all depends on your preference. I won't ever tell you to craft 2 or 3. It's a must to craft, but you'll realize moving forward in this game of Yu-Gi-Oh, you're gonna realize the effectiveness of Nibiru, and yeah, that's all I can say about that. Raigeki, a lot of persons don't really play this anymore, sadly. Um, even I was considering it a while ago. In recent games, I'm like, because sometimes you be like, man, I wish I had Raigeki, but actually, nah. I can't really say too much on this right now because the game of Yu-Gi-Oh is so different, and the fact that purely, yeah, the fact that purely might see a rise in popularity, might, nah, say it's gonna, might, they're gonna be unaffected. Mekank, oh, oh my god, yeah, Raigeki gonna be a rough spot. It gonna be unaffected. People, yeah, yeah, Raigeki gonna be tough. Dark Ruler, no more. Alright. Like I said, depend on the decks that you're playing. Now, the funny thing about Dark Ruler no more, it actually makes Raigeki look good. Cause you Ruler no more, Raigeki, unless you're not playing against elements, then they can counter that. Yeah, you're pretty much good to go. You know. But like I said, the game of Yuga is so funny. So if we go all in, craft 3 Dark Ruler no more, everybody and their mother start playing Dark Ruler no more, what do you think gonna happen? People are gonna try and counter it with their spells and traps, like hard counter traps. You feel me? But that's just how the game of Yu-Gi-Oh is. It's ever shifting, and people trying to adjust to the meta game. Personally, I would say craft 2 copies if you can. Hold on, pause. No, don't craft this as it. It's because purely is a thing that purely monster is unaffected by everything. So this has no effect on it. I should believe it does not have any effect on it. That's why the kaijus is a little bit more useful than anything else. Yeah, so hold off on the craft for this. Like I say, you gotta see how the meta game shift before you decide to run this. But it's a decent card. You know, this card is also what I call a top tier side deck card. You really don't want to run this in the main deck like that. You feel me? All right, Lightning Storm. 1 copy is fine. Like the one that they get from the pack is totally fine. Um, yeah, that's all I can say about that. I wouldn't really recommend crafting it or going all in on this. It's in the same light maybe of Raigeki, but the fact that you can get a Feather Duster and Lightning Storm, it's a decent card, but yeah, it comes in useful in different times of Master Duel, not all the time. Triple Tactics, uh, honest take, it's really tough to evaluate based on the type of deck you're playing though. Um, Not all the time they're gonna have the Ash and Max C for you to trigger. It all depends. But personally, me personally, I love it. You know what I mean? Some people may say otherwise. Some people like the other one, which is I don't have, yeah, which is Triple Tactics Thrust. Some person prefer running 3 thrusts. That's just at the end of the day, everybody have their own personal preference. You can't tell anybody what to do. Do whatever you want. But me personally, I just like tactics. Not all the time, but hey, it's pretty decent. I look at this as like a change of heart. I don't have change of heart. Someone say, well, tactics works like a change of heart. Yeah, you gotta wait for them to trigger something, but technically it's like so. For that, it's a pot of greed and a change of heart all in one card. Really looking the opponent's hand because right now the way the game stay, you want to be having some form of advantage. Like looking at their hand just to pick up. Nah, I like to have advantage because their follow-up play is always boom. I'm gonna build back this big board. What you gonna do? So yeah, I like this card personally, but you could craft a second copy. Cause you're gonna get one of these from the packs. We can craft a second copy, and depending on your playing style and what you're playing up against, you can decide to craft a third one. Ultimate Slayer. This is a side deck card, but yeah, that's all I can say. It's a side deck card. If you pull this randomly from a random pack, keep it. Do not dismantle it. Alright, it's a side deck card. That's all I can say about that. And like I said, Triple Tactics Trust. People love this card. I see it as a one-off. Um, yeah, come run. I would run. Yeah, I see it as a one, but to each their own. Book of Moon. This is going to go with another card, but I think one copy of Book of Moon is okay. You really don't want to go all in. There's another card in the list I want to consider as well, running it as one copy. I'll get to that after this. Cosmic Cyclone. Um, I haven't really tested this in a proper deck as yet to see the effectiveness of Cosmic Cyclone, but just the mere fact that I can banish Snake Eye stuff is just amazing to me, as well as a good counter to Labyrinths. Yeah, that's as much as I can say. It is a good side deck card, and this is one of the reasons why I really pushed to hope Master Duel kind of somehow give us best 2 out of 3 because these side deck cards just go burr against certain decks. You don't want to be running this in every deck. Personally, I never used to like this card because I just hate paying life points. Me personally, as a card game player, I prefer when I'm healing. I like healing when it comes to card games. If I could heal like a million life, man, that's the greatest thing ever. It can't kill me. It can't kill me if my life is so high. You feel me? It's like paying life point. But I gotta give respect to where it's due. I gotta be unbiased. Not my personal preference. I just gotta give credit to where it's due. Cosmic Cyclone is a decent card. I'm gonna try running it as 1 or 2 copies moving forward. Try. It just depends, cause like I said, when you're building a deck, um, you want the deck to be functioning and not brick. You try to have less bricks as possible. You want to be playing stuff, and you got to be mindful of the counter plays what the opponent has. Oh, I play this card. Is he gonna have an Ash Blossom? What are you gonna do when you get Ash? What are you gonna do when you get Imperm? Do you have more plays to make? Can you special summon? You know what I mean? And so if you have things like a Cosmic Cyclone and a Ash Blossom in hand, oh shoot, I can't play anymore. Pass turn, hope for the best, set that, and have the you get me? It feels like a grind game. So deck building on a whole is like a whole different video by itself. Alright. Call by the Grave. I hate this card. I wish it's totally banned. Some person may disagree. I don't give a damn. I hate this card. God damn. I wish it's limited to one. I've just posted a video on YouTube about, and you've seen the video. I should have actually went back, but I just posted that video because it's like 4 games in a row. 4 games in a row. Opening hand is called by, and I'm like, bro, what are the chances of 4 games in a row called by all the time? This should be limited to one. But yeah, it's definitely the card you should craft because everybody plays it. I don't, but yeah. I'm totally unbiased here, but I hate the card. Crossout Designator. Um, this should be like a last resort. Like I never really played the card, but you don't want. If you want to be meta, you can craft it. Yeah, it's up to you. Yeah, if you're playing Snake Eyes, if you decide you want to play a Snake Eye deck, and on the ladder you see nothing but Snake Eyes, sure, craft this. You know what I mean? Craft that. Torrential Tribute. Like I said, this list is just to give newbies, or you newbies, or OGs, it's showing you cards that you probably might not know of, because this game has a lot of cards. You may consider maybe run this as a one-off, maybe two if you want to go all in and get and put three in the deck. Sure, you know what I mean. Sure. I really want to find a deck that I can run three torrential tribute in, because yeah, disrupting opponent plays. Yeah, it, it's a trap, and this is the reason why Nibiru is better, because Nibiru can be used when you're going second, interrupt the opponent plays. But if you're going first, and that's why best two out of three. So for example, in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, where best two out of three is, once you lose the first game, in the second game, the loser choose who go first or second. So you'll be like, okay, let me start in three torrential tribute. I'm going first, and you hope for the best that you draw one. Just set the torrential tribute. You've now controlled the game. Hopefully they're not typhoon it or something, but you get the point. All right, imperm. It depends on which cards. It depends on the type of deck you're playing. I know everybody love imperm. Yeah, this is what you call like a must craft, I guess. I'm totally unbiased. It's a great card, but me personally, I'm not playing it on every deck, every account I have. But yeah, yeah, imperm is definitely something you want to craft to keep up with the meta game. But yeah, I guess. Next, Ice Dragon Prison. I This is a tough one to even evaluate. Mostly using labyrinths, or me personally, I prefer to use in labyrinths or labyrinth decks. If we're playing it in any other deck, I maybe say at one copy. It's an awesome card. It was always a card that I love. Just bear in mind that you only can activate one Ice Dragon Prison per turn, so you can choose to banish the cards or keep the card on field as an interruption. Actually, now that I think about it, I might decide to start running this at 3. Yeah, yeah, I might decide to run this at 3. Yeah, it's a decent card. Yeah, so I showed you Book of Moon. There's another one called the Rumor Cannon. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Labyrinths love this card. Every Labyrinth player loves to play this. Outside of Labyrinth, it's a decent card. It's a decent card. That's all I can say about that. Yeah, the interruption what this card does is really painful. I ain't gonna lie. So I gotta give credit to where credit's due. Should you craft it? If you're deciding to play labyrinths, it's a definite one-off. If you wanna be rich like that and get two, sure, go ahead. Royal Decree. So this is just here. It's a side deck card, really. Um, you don't want to main deck this, cause why? It's a side deck card. But if, for example, labyrinths are everywhere, I don't know, people might say it differently. But I would love to flip Royal Decree on a labyrinth player. It never happened though. But damn, let's let's put that out there. Yeah, and that's the damn list. There's probably more cards out there. I can't really get into it. This video is already long, but I hope this was an insightful video for newbies. When you get into the game of Yu-Gi-Oh. The reason why I'm making this video because I know how frustrating it might be for anybody that's coming into the game for the first time. They want to play Yu-Gi-Oh, and then when they go on ladder or rank up, maybe touch diamond, maybe going to try and hit masters and whatnot. Um, you might have a hard time winning, and you're wondering to yourself, why am I not winning? How can't I counter these cards? Right? So this will just here to present to you that hey, Yu-Gi-Oh got a whole lot of stuff. Yu-Gi is a game that everything counters everything. You just gotta know how to build a deck right. Right. So I hope this was a help to you. Hit that like button if you're new. Subscribe to the damn channel if you like. And I hope to do maybe more videos like this. Maybe. Yeah. And like I said, this is a game. When it comes, it's a resource management game. And another tip, as I go back to when it comes to selection packs, I think it's every month we have like at least one event. One event normally gives you roughly around 3,000 gems, right? So where am I? I would say to you. So this is my tip to you. Everybody want to play with the latest cards. You probably want to play with everything in the deck. Resource management. If you want to play with everything in the deck, you might have to shell out a few dollars, or you can maybe make a second account and carefully manage your resources. Um, but if you're just using one account, save your gems, and when a new pack is out or a selection pack is out, don't just go all in on the pack without knowing what to expect from the pack, if the pack is impactful or not. You may need to give like when a new selection pack is out, you might need to give the game like 5 days. Give the game 5 days for the meta to settle, and you'll see what is really popping off or not, what is really effective or not. Alright, so that's my tip to y'all. Master pack. At one point when the game first came out, I love pulling from master pack. But no, master pack just feel like a waste. So I would not recommend them pulling from master pack. Hence what I said before about those bundle deals that try to make you spend 3,000 and 1,000 gems. Don't do it. Alright. So I mean, you can do what you want. So just try to keep your gem count at around 9 or 10,000 gems. Once you reach around 10,000 gems, if you know that there's not a if there's no new packs coming out, you can spend a 100 gems or 1,000 gems. Just keep a gem count around 9 to 10,000. Alright, just keep your gems up. And when it comes to pulling from selection packs, I would recommend. I got a tip for new players for you, my guy. Before building your main decks, yeah, I did all that. I did all that. Yeah. Before thanks though. Yeah, what I was saying. I lost my train of thought there. I lost my train of thought. Yeah, that's okay though. Yeah, just take your time with the game and enjoy the game for what it is. Before building any new deck, I would recommend you check out different deck lists. You do not have to play a deck card for card. You cannot be innovative. If you find a new card, you're like, oh, this card nice. You can try it out, right? We want people to stay in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh. It's an awesome game. I've been in this game for a long time. You know what I mean? Like I said, this is the reason why I love this game because it's not a rotation system. And okay, Master Duel might tend to ban a certain card today. You might feel butthurt about it, But I'm telling you guys, but I'm being honest with you, it's not all that bad because after a certain time, it may take maybe 6 months to maybe a year. It might take a while, but Master Duel might just bring back those cars back off the ban list. It's not gonna take too long of a time. Adventures got hit so bad, nobody was playing that, so they kind of say, "All right, we notice Adventure ain't doing nothing. Lifted it off." You feel me? They're not bad. You feel me? We know that Telements was once top dog, but let's not get into all of that stuff. 'Cause a lot of person might not even know what I'm talking about. But I hope this was a in. I hope this was a important video for y'all because I know that newbies will tend to spend their resources and then realize, damn, I've wasted so many gems, and now I'm stuck. You start to lose some games, and you feel unmotivated to even play the game, right? And it's really why I probably have like 4 different accounts now. But do not be discouraged, alright? Yeah, I was saying before you build a deck, you check different channels that may have different deck lists. You may realize that certain person use a different card from another person and be like, maybe this is useful, right? So before you build a deck, make sure you do your research on those decks or whichever deck you want to build before you go ahead and build it, right? And not all cards. When it comes to the extra deck, I'm calling out the extra deck cards. Not all cards that you see in the extra deck is a must play. You get me? It all depends on if the situation comes up. Mm-hmm. I don't know how long has this video been. It's probably been like an hour. Damn, it's been an hour. Damn. You see, if I was to go all in on this video, it's probably like 2-3 hours. But yeah, hit that like button if you're new. Subscribe to the damn channel as well. I'm gonna see y'all next time. Kevin Towards signing out. Ciao. And I'm out, y'all.